Hey guys, this is going to be a slightly different video, and I have to tell you that this is something that's just been burning in my chest for a long time. And you'll see where I'm going to be taking this, but it's going to begin by recounting the number of American war dead by war, and then coming up with the total. And you know, I've given up on my former profession, and I don't know if there's ever going to be any meaningful change, and that's why it has to be up to the American people to learn their rights. It's the only way that we're going to get a handle on this, because police will not reform themselves. We know that. They don't have to. When it comes to contemporary American law enforcement, there just isn't a connection in their little brains on what has been done before them to safeguard and secure our liberties and our blessings as Americans. So you can see the tally there, 1.2 million, more or less, dead Americans since the Revolutionary War. And I want to introduce you to my late father, George Noble McCrae, died in 2004. World War II veteran. He was an SK-2, which is a storekeeper second class, U.S. Navy, WW2. In 1941, he was 19 years old, attending Heidelberg College when this happened. My dad was going to war. Stephen Ambrose, a late historian, in his book Citizen Soldiers, he wrote that they didn't want to go to war. They didn't want to shoot artillery pieces. They wanted to shoot 22 rifles. And they didn't want to throw hand grenades. They wanted to throw softballs or baseballs. But they went, 16 million in uniform, just in the United States. Believe it or not, there's the USS Paiute, ATF Atlantic Tug Fleet 159, on which he served during the war. He also spent a lot of time down guarding the Panama Canal. Some of the different wars that this nation has waged, of course, this is the Civil War, Gettysburg Battlefield. World War I, those are our doughboys. And then the big battle, World War II, Thousand Yard Stare. And we're going to be looking at some dead Marines. Iwo Jima, 7,000 Marines killed. Some dead American soldiers during the Korean War, fought from 1950 to 53. And then, of course, we have the horrors of the Vietnam War. This is my generation, the baby boomers. I was too young. And the War on Terror, 20 years and 7,000 or so dead. And here we have the uniformed men and women of American law enforcement who just don't get it. They don't even think about 1.2 million Americans who have died. Even if it crossed their mind, it isn't going to make any difference, because you're getting into the whole concept of who is it that gravitates into law enforcement. Well, a lot of them have antisocial personality disorder, and the system protects them. We know that too. Police unions. This is Joe Gamaldi, vice president of the FOP and also president of the Houston Officers Association. I destroy him in the second Oathbreakers book too. Hi, Joe. They have qualified immunity. The Supreme Court has given government employees more privileges and rights than us. And you throw in internal investigations, unions, internal investigations, and qualified immunity. And you get this. The guy up in the upper right-hand corner, I know you all know him. That's Chauvin from Minneapolis. You know, people like to beat up on George Floyd, but he didn't deserve the death penalty. You know, all Chauvin had to do was stand up. Be felt, that's be felt. Orders are orders. We've heard that before. That's what they are. They're order followers. That's what they think gives them plausible deniability. Apparently it does. And this is all through the Western world. It's just worse here in the United States. You know, in the UK recently, you're not going to believe this, or maybe you will. They arrested a woman they thought was praying silently in her head. Ask any of the British soldiers who were killed in World War I, World War II, if that's what they died for. If I had done a poor job explaining the intent behind this video, now you know exactly what it's about. This is what law enforcement is doing to us, and they are pissing on the heads of those heroes. Let's go back to the 1.2 million dead Americans since the Revolutionary War, and ask the average American to name the name of just one of those dead Americans. You can't do it. Can't do it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up with something that I made sure to include in Rise of the Oathbreakers Part 2, and it's in the section where You know, all those different stories where officers go after ID unjustly, there's no reasonable suspicion or probable cause of a crime. And I want you to throw this in the face of the next cop. This is Keokuk, Iowa, K-9 officer Tanner Walden. An off-duty officer spotted a fella doing something suspicious. So he notified Officer Tanner Walden, who made contact with this gentleman along with a backup officer because they can never do anything by themselves. And within 90 seconds, arrested the man for failing to ID. And what was the gentleman's crime? He was sitting on a park bench early one morning watching the boat traffic on the Missouri River in the United States of America. And the city of Keokuk is defending the arrest by hook or by crook.